Holy cow, what an absolute finish. Nick Hoffman almost gave it away to Bobby Pierce, and Pierce almost stole it from him. And the two came right next to each other. Photo finish. They had to check the transponders at the tech shed at the scales to make sure that they're in the right place to determine that Nick Hoffman was indeed the winner. This was an absolute race. This was awesome. I think this might be race of the year right now. I really do think this was the best race we've seen in the dirt late models this year. This was this good. But before we get into this, I'd like to ask you, please hit that subscribe button, hit that bell for notifications so you don't miss any of our future videos here at John Trent Racing. So before we even get to this, I have to point out that this field was so stacked that Jimmy Owens was unable to make the cut. That's right. Jimmy Owens did not make the cut. That is how competitive this field was for the World of Outlaws. And things got going really early. We had really long green run for the first, I want to say 3/4 of the race. And we actually had a big mistake by Bobby Pierce here on lap 6. Let's take a look at it here. He's running in third right behind Cade Dillard. Nick Hoffman pretty much led I think he led every single lap of this race. He had already kind of checked out. You can see he's got a 2-second lead already 6 laps into the race. But let's take a look here at this mistake that Bobby Pierce makes coming off of turn 2. You can see there he has a really rough start. I don't know if Troutman touches him, but he goes sideways there, so it might not have been a mistake. It's hard to tell from that angle, but Pierce would then go on a mission and methodically work his way back through the field. Looking here at lap 14, him and Troutman would put on an absolute show, pulling off a number of sliders against each other, with Bobby Pierce eventually able to make the pass. Let's take a look at this right here. You can see dives it in down into going into 3 and 4, pulls the slider. Troutman does the crossover. Pierce runs it up on the top. Troutman sticks it on the bottom. He looks like Troutman's going to pull it off, and then Pierce just dives it in. He sends it into 3 and 4, has to check up a little bit, gets back into it, and then pulls down on the bottom to take the spot here going into 1 and then coming out of 2, and he would take that spot. But like, absolutely fantastic racing. Love seeing these guys just duking out, going back and forth like that. It doesn't get any better than that right there until, it does. It got better at the very end when you have the photo finish. But as far as racing, just pure racing, it doesn't really get any better than that. And then Pierce would continue to work his way through the field. Here he is passing Cade Dillard to claim that second spot. You can see Hoffman right there up ahead of him. They had already kind of closed the gap here on lap 21. So here's Pierce working on Cade Dillard, working on the inside, Dillard on the outside in that number 97 car. And Bobby just kind of uses that horsepower and drives right by him, drifts up in front of him there, and takes the spot and sets his sights on Nick Hoffman. We would then have a caution on lap 31. Steve Shepard would have some kind of mechanical failure, and we got to see some Tanner English having to make some evasive maneuvers on that. And then then we'd also have another caution with Ethan Dotson on lap 33. Didn't really get to see what happened there. It sounded like he hit one of the giant tires that were kind of protecting the berm. His front end was definitely smashed in. Lots of damage in the front end of that car, but we didn't really see what exactly happened with that. But then here is the last lap of the race. This was absolutely phenomenal. Like I said, it does not get any better than this to cap off a fantastic race, because we really got to see Bobby Pierce work his way through the field, just wheel it. And then right here, almost steals it from Nick Hoffman, who makes a mistake here going into turn 3 and 4. You can see right there, he drives in really hard, loses it. Pierce takes it on the bottom, gets advantage of it. Hoffman's off the track. Who even knows who wins? I mean, like, I have no idea who wins. They're telling me that it's Nick Hoffman by like 1/1000th of a second or something like that. Absolutely insane. I mean, what a finish. If you're not on your feet, like cheering and clapping for that, I don't know what. Let's try and back it up a little bit here Here we go. This is already they're in turn 4. Let's take a look. I mean, Pierce pushes him up. He's sideways. Hoffman's flying through the air. I mean, what an absolute finish. Just wild, wild, great racing. Again, it doesn't get any better than this. Like I said, race of the year right here, right now. This is what Hoffman had to say after the race. He does admit that he made a mistake, and he was able to eke one out, though. Let's take a listen.
I always say there's the one that got away, and you are not going to let that one get away from you. You're coming off turn 4. Take me through what is going through your mind when you were off the back of the front stretch here at Farmer City.
Yeah, I was like, man, I'm a dumbass here. So I drove into 3 expecting him to slide me. I can watch that video board down the back straightaway, and he was close enough. I was like, surely he's going to slide me here. And so I blew off in there harder than I ran all night and screwed up. You know, pretty much stepped on it there. And then he did the right thing to try and come across and take my lane away, but I just, held her wide and sent her off the front straightaway. Luckily, we got this horse track out here to run off on. But, yeah, that was just stupid on my part. I should have, obviously won that a little bit easier. But, hell, I had to make it a show. So, man, I can't thank everybody enough. Ty Torg.
So there you go. And he made it a show indeed. It was absolutely fantastic. I mean, Bobby Pierce working through the field after that. Unclear if it was a mistake or if he kind of got like touched there by Troutman or what happened there. But able to work through the field, put on a show for us throughout the race, and then obviously capped it off there with a drag race to the finish line. But let's listen to what Bobby Pierce had to say here. This is what Bobby Pierce had to say following the race.
There looked like you had to come in, but what was going through your mind coming off of turn 4?
Yeah, all I know out of the corner of my eye, I saw him up in the cushion. Is the mic on? I saw him up in the cushion, and I figured I was happy with second. Then I saw him up in the cushion, so I decided to come on up, and I don't know. I guess I didn't know what happened after that. I thought we won, so that's why I pulled it here, but transponders said differently, I guess. So congrats to Nick on the win. Drove a heck of a race to that last corner, and I got to thank my sponsors: Low Voltage Solutions, Hooker Trucking, Rio Grande Waste Services, Mesilla Valley Transportation, Toyota Danville, Carnegie Towing, Lika Tree Services, Fast One Speed Shop, VP Racing Fuels, Vic Hill Engines, Bilstein, Longhorn Chassis. Huge shout out to my crew. The car was awesome. I think we made the right calls, and we came back from a lot. We got up to 3rd or 4th there really early on and really got taken out. Came out of the infield and got back on the gas. I think we came out 7th, and then after that rebound, we'll take it,
So there you have it. Bobby Pierce does say that Troutman kind of spun him around there, sent him back into like 7th, but then he was able to work through the field. Yeah, it was hard to tell on the replay there. When I was watching it live, it looked like he might have just lost control of it. But then obviously watching it here on the replay, it did look like Troutman might have clipped him there and sent him around. Pierce is confirming that Troutman did indeed get him there. But it made for a great show. We got to see him work through the field. We got to see him do those awesome dueling sliders there with Troutman before he was able to get around him. And then he worked his way around Cade Dillard, and then obviously that absolutely epic finish. I can't praise this race enough. This is why we watch dirt late model racing. This is why we love dirt late model racing, because we get finishes like this more often than not, and we just get excellent racing. I mean, you can't beat this race. This race was just phenomenal. As for the rest of the field, Cade Dillard came in 3rd, Tyler Erb 4th, Tim McCready rallied for a 5th place finish. Brandon Shepard was in 6th. Kyle Bronson finished in 7th. Dennis Erb Jr. in 8th. Shannon Babb 9th. Jason Fager finished in 10th. Ryan Unzicker in 11th. Chris Madden, who had to take a provisional, finished in 12th. Brian Shirley finished in 13th. Drake Troutman faded all the way to 14th. Daniel Hilsebeck, who had a shifter break on him after a last chance qualifier, I think, or it might have been the heat race, rallied for a 15th place finish. Ryan Gustin in 16th, Dustin Sorensen in 17th, Max Blair in 18th, Brent Larson 19th, Tyler Bruning 20th, Tanner English 21st, Frank Heckenset, how do you say his name? Heckenast Jr.? I hope I'm saying his name right. 22nd, Todd Cooney 23rd, Cody Overton 24th, Ethan Dotson 25th, and Steve Shepard in 26th. But let me know what you guys made of this race. Let me know in the comments below.